It took me a long time to realize what is my greatest blockage on the path of spiritual awakening, and then to discover that most people have the exact same blockage. And that is the feeling of not being enough or not being worthy. I remember watching a program from Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, online. And he was saying that he traveled all over the world and met with some of the most powerful and wealthy people and successful people around the world. And he said that most of them have the feeling of not being enough in certain areas, or not being worthy. And most of it start at an early age. For example, in my case, when I was about 7 or 8 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old, I used to love to play soccer with the boys down the street. And my older brother, a couple of years older than me, in contrast, he liked to stay home and creating necklaces and bracelets and doing artwork. And back in the days, in the society that I grew up in Brazil, those behaviors were not really accepted. A young little girl should be at home playing with dolls, and a 10-year-old boy should be out on the street playing soccer with the other boys. And so my mother decided to put both of us in psychotherapy. And I remember being like 7 or 8 years old and in the therapy, and this lady was asking me all kinds of questions. And I began to question myself as if, is there something wrong with me? Why I am not being accepted and loved just as I am? So it began to develop in me the sense of not being enough or not being worthy. Thank God for me. The psychologist was very open-minded, and she basically told my mom that there's nothing wrong with the two kids, that we're just fine. But nonetheless, it gave me a sense of not being accepted as I was. And so because I was very much in love with sports, I decided to become an overachiever in sports. I just give my very best. And behind my impulse to give my very best was also the perception that if I am successful, then I'm going to be loved, and then I would be appreciated by my mom. Those of us who have placed our sense of worthiness in our successes and failures will quick realize that it's like a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you succeed and then you feel good about yourself, or the times you fail and then you just feel bad about yourself, right? But when I finally entered the spiritual path, I've learned a couple of lessons that are very, very important as far as our sense of being enough or our sense of being worthy is concerned. The first lesson that I've learned is this: if I want to receive more love and if I want to receive more appreciation, the best thing that I can do is not necessarily to become more successful or perfect, but the best thing that I can actually do is to express more love and express more appreciation, with the understanding that the more love I give, the more appreciation I give, the more of those things will come back to me. And the second thing that I've learned, which is actually the most important, is that on the spiritual path, we begin to become familiar of the essence of who we are, which is actually greater than our successes and our failures and our personality and our accomplishments. So when we begin to make this gentle shift of identity and we begin to identify ourselves with the aspect of ourselves that is beyond the physical body, beyond the experience that I'm having here and now, then I begin to realize that my sense of worthiness is not attached to my successes and failures. And the reason why I describe it as being a blockage on the spiritual path is that in order for us to receive everything that is already ours by divine right, the wisdom, the connection, the abundant life, the protection, the guidance, the hidden talents that wants to be expressed. We need to feel worthy. We need to feel worthy of being called the light of the world. We need to feel worthy as being called a divine essence having a human experience, because it is only by feeling worthy of it that we will actually receive it. Thanks for watching. Namaste.